My daughters mocked me for being a plumber and said, all he does is get his hands in people's poop, so I cut them. I'm a plumber. Been busting myself 60 plus hours a week for 12 years to provide for my twin daughters Mia and Chloe. Not glamorous work, but it pays the bills. Actually, it pays really well. Enough for a nice house in the best school district, art classes, summer camps, college funds, and pretty much anything the girls wanted. I met their mom Amber when the twins were 5. Their biological dad bailed the moment she got pregnant, left her with nothing but a text saying he wasn't ready. I legally adopted them when they were 7. Best decision of my life. I thought they were mine in every way that mattered. Last month I came home early from a job. The client's designer had an emergency, so I got sent home with $100 for my trouble. It was 3:30 p.m. The girls had just gotten home from school. I was grabbing my tool bag when I heard voices through the open kitchen window. Something in Mia's tone made me stop. Dad's job is so goddamn embarrassing, she was saying. Emma's dad is a cardiologist, and Becca's dad is some big shot lawyer. Meanwhile, my dad crawls around in people's shit for a living. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. Chloe's response was worse. Remember when he showed up at the choir concert still in his work clothes? He smelled like pipe cleaner and had dirt under his fingernails. Tyler asked me if my dad was homeless. They both burst out laughing. And he tries so hard, Mia continued. Always asking about our friends and hobbies like he actually gets it. Yeah, he's not even our real dad, Chloe added casually. He tries to buy our love with all this stuff. Like we'll forget he's just some random plumber mom married because she was broke and desperate. Not their real dad. I'd been there since they were in preschool. I'd adopted them, taught them to ride bikes, sat through hundreds of awful kids' movies, helped with homework, cheered at every school event, loved them unconditionally for 12 years. I bet if mom had waited, she could have found someone better, Mia said. Someone with a real job who doesn't come home smelling like a sewer. Well, at least he pays for everything, Chloe laughed. I'm getting him to pay for that beach trip next month. It's like $600, but he'll say yes. He always does. I stood there frozen, my tool bag hanging at my side. Then I quietly walked back to my van and sat there for 10 minutes trying to process what I'd heard. That night, I opened a new bank account in just my name, transferred exactly half our savings, redirected 75% of my paycheck to the new account, leaving just enough in the joint account for my share of mortgage and basic groceries. Then I hit the grocery store. Goodbye fancy organic milk and gluten-free crackers. Hello generic everything and the cheapest single-ply toilet paper they sold. A bit of poetic justice there. When the hot water heater started making that knocking sound, I ignored it. 3 days later, Mia complained about freezing showers. Call a plumber, I said. But you're a plumber. I'm not your plumber. For their school field trip, I wrote checks for exactly $25 each. The girls looked at those checks like I'd handed them garbage. The real showdown came when Chloe asked for $600 for her beach trip. No, I said simply. Her face went through shock, confusion, anger. But Dad, everyone's going. Why are you being like this? You're 17. If you want money, get a job like I did at your age. When Amber asked what was going on, I finally told her everything I'd overheard. She looked angry and ashamed. They need to apologize. An apology isn't enough, I said. They need to learn respect. 2 weeks later, Mia's art school application deadline was approaching. She'd been dreaming of this $70,000 a year school since forever. I'd been saving for years to help make it happen. She finally worked up the courage to ask, Dad, I need $475 for application fees. No, but this is my future. You know how important this is. If it's that important, you'll find a way to pay for it yourself. McDonald's is hiring. Her face crumbled. That's when I laid it all out. Told her I'd heard everything she and Chloe said about me. Dad, I'm sorry. We were just being stupid. Bullshit. You meant every word. You don't get to treat me like garbage and then expect me to hand over hundreds of dollars. Both girls got jobs. Mia at a coffee shop, Chloe at McDonald's. When Mia got her first paycheck, $283.47 for 2 weeks of work, she stared at it in disbelief. Is this what you started making as a plumber? Less, actually. I made $7.25 an hour and worked 60-hour weeks. For the first time, she looked at me and saw not just her dad, but a person who had struggled and sacrificed. The following week, Mia handed me $250, every penny she'd earned for one application fee. I'll save up and apply to other schools next year if I don't get in. Both girls started contributing $200 a month toward rent. I secretly deposited it into their college funds, but they didn't need to know that. The lesson was in the giving.